Well, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi has presided over the grand opening of a new Hindu temple in the northern state of Uttar Pradesh. The inauguration of the Ram Mandir in a landmark moment in a decades-long campaign by the ruling Bharatiya Janata Party of the BJP. It also marks an unofficial start to Mr. Modi's re-election campaign this year.
Doors to the grand temple of Hindu god Lord Ram opened in the city of Ayodhya, a ceremony to unveil the idol of one of Hinduism's most revered deities on a site many devotees believe is his birthplace. That includes Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who led the consecration with offerings and prayers. He hailed the Ram Mandir's opening as a new era for India.
गुलामी की मानसिकता को तोड़कर उठ खड़ा हो राष्ट्र, अतीत के हर दंश से हौसला लेता हुआ राष्ट्र, ऐसे ही नव इतिहास का सृजन करता है.
Celebrations for the temple were held nationwide. Government employees were given a half-day off. Public schools in the capital shut, and even the stock market was closed for the day. In the ancient city of Ayodhya, excitement reached fever pitch with performances and all of India's who's who in town, from tycoons to Indian cricketer Virat Kohli and Bollywood star Amitabh Bachchan. Tens of thousands of Hindus converged on the city to bear witness to the opening.
हमारी खुशी का कोई ठिकाना ही नहीं है कि कितने वर्षों के बाद ऐसा राम राज्य हो आया है और लोगों ने अयोध्या वासियों ने खुद नहीं समझा होगा कि कभी यहाँ ऐसा होगा.
हमको तो बहुत भाग्यशाली है ऐसा लग रहा है और हम लोग ये लाइफ टाइम एक्सपीरियंस है हमारे लिए और हमको ऐसा लग रहा है जैसे प्रभु रामचंद्र जी ने हमको न्योता दिया है और यहाँ बुलाया है इस फंक्शन में शामिल होने के लिए और ये सेलिब्रेट करने के लिए.
But for others, the temple is a stark reminder of a violent past. It was built on a site where a mosque had stood for centuries before it was razed to the ground in 1992 by right-wing mobs. That demolition triggered the worst religious riots since independence, killing 2,000 people, most of them Muslims. A Supreme Court decision in 2019 put an end to the dispute, handing the land to the Hindus, while ordering the allotment of a separate plot to the Muslims some 24 kilometers away. The opening of the Ram Mandir temple delivers on a 35-year-old promise of Prime Minister Modi's Bharatiya Janata Party. The $200 million project is expected to feature heavily in this year's general elections, with Mr. Modi seeking a third term in office.
On this, Priyata Prajabasa reports live from New Delhi. Priyata, Prime Minister Modi inaugurating the temple. Speaking at the event, he called this the beginning of a new era for Indians. What other points did he make in his speech that are worth noting?
Right, the inauguration of the Ram Temple by Prime Minister Narendra Modi in Ayodhya on Monday is being seen by many Indians, specifically Hindu devotees, by Ram devotees, as a promise fulfilled after many decades. And that was the underlying sentiment behind Prime Minister Narendra Modi's speech today as well. He said that this was a beginning, or it was the beginning of a new era for Indians. He said January 22nd is a red letter day for Indians, specifically Hindu devotees, for Ram devotees as well. Now, he's also said that it also marks the end of slavery and dominance. And of course, this was in reference to the centuries-long rule of what right-wing Hindu groups call Muslim invaders or Islamic invaders in the country. He also also appreciated the Indian judiciary. He referred to the 2019 judgment of the Supreme Court of India that gave the land to Indians after a very, very long dispute over land where now the Ram temple is being constructed. Interestingly, he also apologized to Lord Ram, apologizing for taking as long as it did for the construction of a Ram temple in his name. Now, of course, political analysts are saying that the inauguration of the Ram temple, as well as the subsequent speech of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, marks the unofficial beginning of Prime Minister Narendra Modi's political campaign ahead of the elections, the general elections, which are scheduled to take place in a few months' time.
All right, as you mentioned, these elections that are coming up, if this is, in fact, the unofficial start to campaigning for Narendra Modi and the BJP and presumably other parties as well, what kind of impact could what we saw today have on voter sentiment?
It's interesting because the promise of the construction of the Ram temple has not just been Prime Minister Narendra Modi's big election promise for the last decade. It has also been the ruling Bharatiya Janata Party's big poll promise for at least the last 3 decades, if not more. The demolition of the Babri Mosque more than 3 decades ago by right-wing Hindu mobs, by right-wing Hindu groups on the premise or on claims that it was built on the ruins of a Ram temple has been what many political analysts say the very identity of the Bharatiya Janata Party. It is a pitch on which the party has fought many elections in the past. But this particular inauguration by Prime Minister Narendra Modi is being seen by Indians as a big poll promise delivered, and it will have, at least experts say, have a significant impact on how the Hindu majority in India will vote. Now, of course, critics and opposition in the country, they have attacked Prime Minister Narendra Modi on the timing of this inauguration. They said that this has been specifically timed by Mr. Modi to help his chances, to bolster his chances for a third term at power.
Thanks for that, Priyanta Pranjapmasi reporting to us there from New Delhi.